Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and unfortunately, with the extended maintenance, we did not get to stream the patch reset last night, but we went through and did it all this morning, so we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Talk about the update to the Boar, which was really unexpected. We're also going to talk about some pet tickets and the other events that are going on. So let's go ahead and dig in. So I always like to point out when Netmarble does something good that actually makes me happy. So the first thing I'm going to open up with is actually a shout out to the fact that Netmarble actually sent us the turbans or the hats or the masks for the other classes that we ranked on in the Genie event. Now this was for hitting 5 million and 9 million damage. For those of you that remember and watched me do it on stream, I opened up all of the chests at once, and that caused me to lose the glamour items for my other classes. So shout out to them for recognizing this and sending these to me. I imagine other players who did the same thing probably had it sent to them. It was just a pleasant surprise to wake up to today. So kind of made me a little bit happy there. We do have a variety of events. What we're going to talk about, though, first is the Boar. Now, you can get the Boar from the Cooking Competition Eve event, and the Boar has actually been a little bit more upgraded than the version that I talked about when we did my video initially on the Boar, and it's actually really surprising. So the Boar actually is getting a additional buff to what we had talked about previously, and this was what was in the Korean version of the game. So it's going to decrease partner party members' earth damage taken by 0.5%. Now, this is pretty important because what happened in Korea within the last couple of weeks actually is that almost all of the familiars received upgraded buffs. So many of them received upgraded buffs for party members. They also received updates to the AI priority and some of the priority of their familiar adventure abilities as well. Now, I haven't checked to see if the familiar adventure ability is the same. It looks the same as Korea, but what this could mean is this could mean that the familiars that are coming out in the future are going to have a different priority than what people might expect, because the familiars that are going to be released may actually be released with their modified Korean stats with them, making them potentially much more powerful and much more impactful than they initially were on launch for their respective familiars. So this is actually really big, and this is a really big thing that I think people are going to need to consider. And we can definitely do a video where we talk about what the familiar changes are for the future, but I think what we will do is just for any other future familiar videos when familiars are released, I'll talk about the two different forms, the original and the upgraded form. But this could mean that future familiars are going to get huge buffs right now. We also do have the refresh of the Field 2 Season Boss surprise mission, so make sure you're doing that. Platypause is still going on, and then we do also have the Kingdom stuff happening right now too. Pretty important stuff in the shop, I would say. Definitely things to consider. You got a bunch of garbage in here, per usual. You do have a quick power-up check-in, which is really good. Gives you a lot of summon tickets for $19.99. Definitely worth it. But they did add a new daily Territe pass for $4.99, and I think if you're anyone farming Territe or you're playing the game long-term, this is probably going to be worth it for minnows. Increases the effect of Territe energy by 200% in chaos fields. You're also going to get a daily Territe aroma. Now, you do only get a certain amount of farmable Territe per day, and I do wonder, you know, a lot of players who are at level 80 or level 100 already are able to farm their daily cap of Territe already if they are farming in chaos fields. So this may not necessarily be needed for some people, but I think for a lot of people it will be pretty good, and it'll help you kind of close the gap here. So definitely important, definitely something to think about. In terms of the summon shop, now we are going to talk about the pets right now. The pet summon tickets can be purchased in a bundle for $19.99. You get 10 of them. You can only get 10 or 2 per account, so that's 20 per account. Or you can buy them in the Asterite shop. The Asterite shop sells 10 per week at 600 each, so 6,000 Asterite per week towards these pet summon tickets is probably what you're going to want to do. What's a little bit terrifying is kind of, as we've talked about, as I was kind of dreading in the initial release of this, is that you can't initially roll the 5 stars. So what you're basically doing is you're rolling for a 3-star or a 4-star, and then you are going to have to use them in order to get a 5-star. Now, the 5-star does have some really unique features, such as the capability that when you are auto battling, you can use your burst skill, which is insanely powerful. But it's, again, one of those things that's just like, you have to actually get the 5-star first. And the 5-star does require the fusion of 3 4-stars. And while I haven't seen the rate itself, I can tell you fusing a 4-star with 3 stars is 40%. My understanding is that it's either going to be 10 or 20%, and it also costs a boatload of territe. We're talking like potentially upwards of 4,500 or more territe in order to craft these. So these are going to be expensive, especially to get the 5-star. Now, they do have really good stats, and you can equip 2 of them. So you are going to want to make sure and do that. You can see they also give like freaking, you know, like 500 attack, 1400 defense, prize drop up, HP recovery up. Like, they have some pretty good things going for them, right? Especially if you consider you can equip 2 of these and get the base stats from 2 of them. You will definitely want to decide which ones you want. But I think for most people, it's not really going to be a choice. You're kind of going to get what you get, and that's going to be kind of the end of it. You can get some 3-stars. I currently have 3 stars equipped. There is some tricks to equipping them as well, which we can talk about too. So let's go to the equip screen, because I definitely messed this up initially when I was setting up my formations. It's not like they have a new pet menu here. And for me, when I came in, I just equipped my pets and I was like, okay, I'm good, right? Like, this is good, looks great, I'm happy. But what I didn't realize is you actually have to equip your pets on every single deck. So I went and I was farming other monsters, and I didn't realize I didn't have my pets on me because you don't see the physical effect of the pets. And I just assumed setting the pets that way would set the pets in all of my decks, but you actually have to set them in every single deck. So I think that's a pretty important detail that I think a lot of people might miss. You also get chests that do drop if you have the pets equipped. The chests themselves give additional territe, so you don't get any additional territe from the 3-star pets or 4-star pets just as they are. You get a chance to get a chest which drops additional territe, which is between like 6 and 9 territe. It's not a lot, and the chest doesn't drop that frequently. So the amount of territe that you're actually getting from the pets isn't that great. Could be different if you do get the 5-star pet, I suppose. But a lot of people aren't going to be able to get the 5-star pet for quite a while. They would have to get stupid lucky, because literally you're going to have to fuse that sucker, which means you're going to need 3 4-stars, which means you're going to need, I mean, I suppose someone could be lucky enough right now where they bought the packs to, you know, between 30 summon tickets to get it, and they have, you know, 3 4-stars, and they somehow got lucky enough to fuse a 5-star. I can see that happening, but right now it's not. I haven't seen anything, and I imagine I would have seen something by now, so it'll probably be a few weeks. We also don't know the stats on the 5-stars yet. You can't click on them in the codex to figure out what their stats are either. So right now we don't really know what their effects are. There may be other resources to know what their effects are. So if you guys know those, please put them down in the description down below. But other than that, pretty much going to be farming territe most of the week. The kingdom event stuff, the kingdom capital stuff, starts at a really weird time today. It's like 10 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm like Dude, that's a weird time. And apparently it's happening at like 12:30 in the morning EU time or something. So we're going to have to keep our eye on the time releases because the time seems like it might be really weird for Kingdom Capital content. Anyway, everybody, I hope to see you guys on stream later today. I will be doing a lot of Tower of Fantasy. So I hope you guys are catching me there and sharing my lives out. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Remember, we are going to be on Tempest server. So I'll catch you guys later.